You're listening to the Next Wave Radio Network.
Round one, fight!
Can't we do our own secret shows?
All our shows are secret shows.
We have the tools, we have the talent.
You have to use so many cuss words.
Let's go.
Ooh, yeah!
So you keeping up with the Dallas Stars? Are you a sports guy at all?
No, I can't really say I am. I get into sports when there's I do the Super Bowl, I do March Madness. Just recently we did the brackets, because I at Olympics, I'm a huge Olympics fan. Like when the Olympics come around, like I get excited. I watch all the weird sports that nobody else has watched. But I can't say I'm a sports fan though.
Yeah, I think Olympics has a cool novelty element to it.
Yeah.
Where it's like, we don't get this all the time. So it's kind of, if we got those sports all the time.
I know.
Like if we lived in Norway, we would probably be sick of the Winter Games. We would be like, all right, cool. Hockey, luge, whatever. But yeah, no, I hear you. I love the Olympics. I love both the summer and winter games. I love that they're going to be adding to like dance battles to the summer games this year.
Oh, really? Is that the new one?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're trying to keep up with it. Last time it was the skateboarding. They added the half pipe and shit, and
the
skateboarding,
the snowboarding. But yeah, like I met one of the guys that's on Team USA at a station event a couple weeks back, and I was like, "Get the fuck out of here! You're gonna be dancing in the Olympics, like, and not with a ribbon, like." 'Cause I just know, like,
exactly.
They do that. The freestyle, what is it? Gymnastics. They do the ribbons and
popping
stuff.
and locking and stuff now. See, this is what TikTok has done. This is the TikTok generation's contribution to the Olympics.
I know, right?
Everybody has to dance.
I don't understand those tactics. No, so like it's kind of weird Jekyll and Hyde here. If you were in DFW, like the sports culture is like, how the sports culture can be here. It could be a little venomous, but it's like it's weird because you had the Mavs that have Luka Doncic, and they just got Kyrie Irving, and then they tanked. Like their season was horrible at that point. They just went downhill. Like every week was like, all right, well, we're in second place. As long as we don't slip too much, we should be pretty comfortable. We might still get a first round bye in the playoffs. Okay, we're in fourth place now, but it's okay. We're still in a good spot. We may get an easy round one. Okay, we're getting down to fifth place. This is going to be a little bit of a fight, but we got it. Then it's like, okay, well, we're in seventh, and we have a shot at getting into the play-ins, so that way we can be in the playoffs.
Right.
Oh, we just finished dead last.
And
okay,
now it's
so
over.
Nothing.
That's it. Yeah. Yes, that is the cycle. I lived in Dallas for 25 years, and every year this was going to be the year. This is going to be the year we go all the way.
All right. Yeah, but and what I'm saying, like, but then, as that season is ending, you got the Dallas Stars, who are arguably like one of the best teams in the NHL.
Yeah.
They're in the Stanley Cup playoffs right now, first round. And, in fact, they're playing the Wild right now. I don't know what the score is.
I didn't even know that.
But they were up last time I checked. But and you've got the Rangers have just started their season. And you know me, I like baseball.
Yeah.
I think I took you guys to a baseball game once and realized.
We've been to a couple, I think.
Oh, you guys don't like it very much.
We go again for the cheering and the songs and the hot dogs, free hot dog night.
Oh, yeah.
Then we go on like Star Wars night where they were doing little Star Wars themed presentations.
Oh, yeah.
Darth Vader threw out the first pitch.
Guys, one of my favorite photos that has to do with Joel and Jenna is a selfie that they took in the American Airlines Center at a Dallas Mavericks game. So like they stand up with like the court behind them and like take the selfie. Meanwhile, off camera, I'm taking a picture of myself with them in the background.
It's very Rosencrantz and Guildenstern.
It's awesome. And I'll crack that one out every once in a while. But yeah, that's one of the few times I think I got Joel to come out to a sporting event.
I love it.
But you like Wii Sports, right?
Yeah, I do. Oh, the Wii bowling? You can't tear me away from that.
So if the sports had like a controller, like you'd be okay with that.
Yeah. If I got to control.
Could you watch that like on Twitch?
What actual sports or sports video games being played on Twitch?
No, like sports video games.
Yeah, I mean, okay, so are we talking like NBA Jam? Because I loved NBA Jam. I love kind of a sports game that accentuates and but I mean, like, are we going for like realism? Like, is this like the Gran Turismo of football games, where they're going for?
I didn't break it down that far. My thing is, if I'm watching someone on Twitch, I'm usually watching somebody go through a bunch of like expert Mario Maker levels. That's kind of my jam.
Yep.
Every so often, I'm cool with like watching somebody play some new release. Like there was that Army of Dark or Evil Dead game that came out not too long ago, and I like watching that kind of stuff. But my big thing is watching people go through and play like Mario Maker, sometimes Mario 64 on the off chance. My daughter loves Mario 64. She loves that aesthetic.
Really?
So if we go through and we scroll past someone who's playing it, she's like, yeah, I want to watch that one.
Weird.
You know why I think she likes it? Because the opening shot is of Princess Peach reading a letter.
Oh, really? Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah.
Have a positive connection.
My daughter is
She a Peach fan?
she's such a girly girl, and I love it. But she is a Peaches. She is a huge Peach fan.
I heard Sarah.
Yeah, she's not laughing at us.
Okay,
She's laughing
again,
at
not at us.
whoever
All right.
she's talking to.
I'll edit her into the podcast anyway.
Yeah.
It'll be like we have our own audience.
That would be wonderful. I know she wants to be a part of it.
As does Jenna. We'll get them both on for a future episode.
She misses you guys, but she had a lot to share
Same.
in this week's episode of Low Res High Def right here on the Next Wave Radio Network. My name's Joe.
I'm Joel.
And this is where we've come back. We've returned to talk every week about,
Resurrected.
I hate to use the term pop culture, but we talk about pop culture. It's not specifically movies.
Sure.
It's not specifically games. It's not specifically music. It's just whatever the hell moves us at that time. And, I guess just kind of building off of the Stream of Consciousness podcast that we had kind of become popular for, and just the random singing. Like I know people were kind of fans of that, and if they weren't,
Sorry.
they let us know that too, that they didn't like it very much.
Not stopping. Brought it back to this podcast.
You can find us at lowreshighDef.com. Is that right?
That's correct. You did it.
My wife is laughing, and I'm just assuming it's because I'm doing it wrong.
Not as us.
And that's where you can find us and follow the links there to our different social media sites and join the discussion. And before we get into that discussion, I want to know, Joel.
I want to know.
What's your obsession?
What's your
thinking? Obsession?
I always do that.
Two different songs.
Well, it's indicative of the rest of this podcast. Okay, so I do have an obsession.
You have one. Thank you.
I didn't realize until just now because this weekend we went out looking for bikes. We were going to go bicycle shopping. We're going to take a trip to Florida here in a couple of weeks. We're going to be on the beach and needed some bikes to ride around with us. And also here in our new town, it's very bike friendly. There's a trail just like half a mile from our house that goes all the way into downtown Greenville. And so we're going to be bike people and specifically discovered the world of e-bikes and the advances they've made in a while. Yeah, there's a bunch of companies that do like direct to consumer e-bikes. You can just buy them online. It's like the Carvana of e-bikes. You just buy it online, they ship it to your house.
God, no. As someone who bought a Carvana car, stay away.
Did you? Really? Not
stay
good?
away, yes.
A giant drone did not come and drop that off at your house?
No. And I did it specifically because
Of the giant drone?
Because I wanted the goddamn machine. I wanted to do the vending machine.
Yeah.
Have them give me a coin.
Yeah.
And like I was going to put it in the machine. It was going to come down. And they're like, yeah, machine's broken. I was like, what? How's the machine broken? I was like, then you better go fix it and then call me, come back. I'm paying for the experience.
Then I'll get my car. Yeah.
And then like they're like, here you go. Here's the keys. Have a good day. I go, shouldn't I get a coin? I want my giant coin.
Your novelty size coin.
Look, you know me. If I don't get my tchotchkes, I'm gonna be mad.
Yes.
I'm that kid that if I went to McDonald's, like even when I was too old to get Happy Meals, which it doesn't exist, by the way, guys. But when my parents thought I was too old, I would get upset. I'd be like, but my dad would bring food home and I'd be like, what'd you get? He's like, I got you a cheeseburger. I'm like, Happy Meal? He's like, no, you're a big boy now. You don't need that. I'm like, but they're doing Muppet Babies, motherfucker. Like,
I remember that.
They're doing the transforming food, the fries that turn into a killer robot.
I don't remember that one.
You don't remember that?
I think you're making that one up.
The McDonald's Transformers toys were amazing.
Yeah.
They were amazing. We'll have to do a whole other episode on like the McDonald's exclusives, especially back in the 80s.
We'll have to have my boss on. My boss, his background is in toy making, and he's got a lot of great stories. He has a business now where he kind of makes custom figurines.
Is his name Geppetto?
That's right. He's an old mustache.
Does he wish every night for a real boy?
That's right. In his suspenders and handlebar mustache.
And a stereotypical Italian accent.
Exactly.
Joel.
He's got a real cricket problem, real bug problem in his place.
They should fumigate.
He'd be great to have on for that discussion.
That's really cool, man. You're a very active guy. You like I remember
I'm really not.
The like couple of times you visited Europe, and there's pictures of you biking around Europe.
Yeah, that's like 5 years ago.
Like, that's not the kind of stuff I do. Like when I go to vacation, I want to break. Like, I don't want to do anything. Look at my face right now. Do I look like I look for things to do that's physical? But But I think that's really cool, man. I wish you could bike your ass back up here.
Well, that would be like, that would take weeks to do, even with an
You'd
e-bike.
be like, what are you talking? You'd be like, don't they have a thing where like people for charity, they like ride from one side end of the country to the other?
I can get sponsored, you think?
Yes.
Get
You
my own
get
sponsorship.
sponsored,
Like go door to door, ask people.
drive through small towns, and like people just follow you for no reason.
Hi, my name's Joel. I'm trying to raise money to bring awareness to the scourge.
Are you being the guy from Office Space? the dude selling the magazines?
Yes, exactly.
Hello, sir or ma'am.
Yeah, basically,
Would you
yes.
Okay, well, my obsession, kind of taking off from when I was playing Luigi's Mansion. I finished Luigi's Mansion 2 and started Luigi's Mansion 3, which each of these games, like the first Luigi's Mansion, I blew through in like 5 hours. The second one took about double that time. It took about 10 to 15 hours to get through.
Yeah.
And then this third one, I've played through like the first hour of it, and I feel like I am not even close to scratching the surface on this game.
No.
This feels like it's a beefy game, and it's beautiful to look at.
Yes, it is, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm so glad you're finally experiencing it. Yeah, it's for us. It was about between 15 and 20 hours. I think
Yeah.
closer to 20 hours.
Okay. And you know me, the way I play, I try to get everything.
Yeah, maybe a little longer for you. Although we take our time too, and so it'll probably even out. But yeah, so glad you're finally playing this game. What are your first impressions?
Oh, dude, it's so gorgeous. And I'm going to tell you, like, having played the first two, like, I still have a 3DS, and my 3DS is loaded. If someone were to find my 3DS and just, like, swipe it from me, there's probably a good $2,000 worth of games on there that I've bought from the marketplace. When I found out they were closing the marketplace, I probably
stocked
put, like,
up
a couple $100 on my Nintendo account,
Yeah.
so I could grab the things that I didn't want to lose out on, like, you know, Luigi's Mansion. Never played it, and I'm like, this is gonna be much easier than trying to find a physical copy later.
smart.
Let me just get these. I also got all of like the available Mario and Luigi RPGs, which I actually took a break from Luigi's Mansion 3, and I've been playing. That's what I was gonna say. My actual obsession this week is Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga with Bowser's Minions as kind of the add-on game that they did for the 3DS. And this game is amazing. It's so good. It's so fun. But yeah, like that 3DS, it's got a good shelf life, and I think I just beefed it up like even more. It's going to be sticking around for a while. Like, I have a bag that I carry around with me, my essentials. Like, if I get bored somewhere, like I've got my Switch, I've got my Steam Deck, and I've got my 3DS.
Oh my god!
And
that's like
no shit weighs this bag down.
Yeah, it's like 15 pounds of gaming right there.
Yes, easily. My wife is constantly like moving the bag off the couch, and she's like, Jesus, what do you have in this thing? And I'm like, my babies. I have my babies in this bag.
Be careful.
She's like, if this house is ever on fire, you're going to save your games first, aren't you? And I'm like, no, I'll already have them with me. So we won't have to worry about that.
Picturing you like sleeping in bed, and then the smoke alarm goes off. You throw back the covers, and they're already under. You're snuggled with them in the fetal position.
My Steam Deck in a bra and my thong panties.
PS5 between your legs.
PS5 with a cigarette hanging out of its slot. You were amazing. Yeah, so that's my not fucking my
That's
not
your
fucking
obsession.
my toys, but playing my
That'll
games.
be next week's obsession.
Yeah. Let's get into our topic of the week.
Let's do it.
And this one was really exciting for me.
Me
And
too.
this was Jenna's idea, right?
It sure was. Yeah, she came up with it because we'd been reminded of Blockbuster because we were out walking the dog in a park, and you know how, I don't know if you've ever been in like a nice neighborhood. Sometimes they'll have like the little public library.
Yes, I don't live in the ghetto.
No, but I mean like kind of like a higher end, like a Highland Park.
Joe, I don't know if you've ever been in a nice neighborhood, you know, places where you don't have to listen to 5 gunshots every hour while you're trying to get to sleep.
That was my old house. You remember that? Ooh, do not miss that.
Yeah.
Fireworks or gunshots.
You were like one street over. Both of us are like, we're like your area and my area. It's like good street, good street, good street. Then like you just go past the alley
Downhill.
and it's like, oh my God,
So quick.
welcome to Beirut. What happened?
Yeah, man, rough times. So, not sure if have you ever seen these? It's like a little box, and people put books there. It's like the park library, the community library, where you go drop off a book, and you can, if you take one, you bring one back, and you kind of pay it forward, and everybody gets a little bit of learning or entertainment, depending on what the book is.
Yeah.
So
They're always shitty books though. Like I'll open that up and I'll be like, what the fuck is this? I don't want to read Sue Grafton.
A lot of fantasy.
Yeah.
We saw the Twilight trilogy in the one we were looking at. That was fun.
That's no good.
But they also, in this particular park that we were walking in, they had one for dogs. So people would bring dog toys. And Joe, I think I sent you a picture of this, but there was an adorable dog toy that I just had to have. We did exchange. We took some of her toys and replaced.
Yeah.
But in return, I got this Barkbuster video.
That's so cool,
it's
man.
a plush toy.
That's adorable.
In the shape of the Blockbuster. Yeah, the covers.
Yeah.
And that got us talking about it and reminiscing. And the next thing you know, we're watching videos about what happened to Blockbuster Video and what was it like? And Blockbuster itself has kind of been in the news, having a little bit of a renaissance in the last couple of years.
Yeah.
So I figured this was a good time to talk about it, discuss it, and reminisce about our own memories in Blockbuster and also just kind of the VHS era itself, right?
Just the rental era. Yeah. So what I found is funny is that they just had some didn't they do a sitcom about Blockbuster that was on Netflix?
That's right. It is already canceled, but I did watch the pilot episode. I know it's surprising, too, because they had a lot of talent behind it. It was, what's the guy's name?
It was
him.
Randall Park.
Randall Park. There you go. Yeah, it's got Randall Park in it.
Yeah.
It had Santos or whatever the character's name was from Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Yeah, Melissa Fumero.
There you go. She's great. And we thought the pilot episode was funny. I mean, funny as any other sitcom that's on right now. But for some reason or another, Netflix decided to cancel it. But still, there was enough popularity and heat behind it to even bring that into fruition. So, yeah, Blockbuster is back again.
Yeah. Guess who's back? Are TV comedies like the horror movies of TV, like just super cheap to produce?
Yes, I think. Well, because that's probably reality TV, but they're probably right up there.
Yeah. There's so many, they throw so many comedies at you, and it seems like not a whole lot of them stick around. And like when you look at something like Friends, and you could say what you want about like how it didn't age well or whatever, but like that show had some staying power. It was some good writing, some decent writing.
Yeah.
But there always seems to be something a little special about the production. You look at Frasier, look at Cheers, look at even the original Night Court, and then compare it to the new Night Court.
Yeah.
And you're like, what did we do? Like, why is this a hard formula to replicate? Because you seem to get it really good. And then it's like, was it all, the guy who played Harry Stone? Did he really keep it all together?
Oh.
John Larroquette definitely wasn't that thing.
Oh, no.
Well, no, I mean, look, let's be honest. John Larroquette is a fine actor, but he's not going to have that
he's not an
staying,
anchor.
not the staying power, the drawing power.
There you go.
So my first experience with Blockbuster was way late, I think.
Me too.
I was well into my teens. I think I'd even graduated high school before I had my own Blockbuster account.
Wow.
One of my friends, Sean Bishop, worked at a Blockbuster in Plano, and I finally opened an account. We would go with our friends, with Jay and Shannon and Kyle and James and all these, we'd go and we'd rent the PlayStation, we'd rent a bunch of movies. And one time they were like, Joe, do you have a card? Do you have an ID for a membership? I was like, no. He's like, well, let's set you up with a membership. I'm like, I don't want to pay for that. He's like, you don't pay for it. It's free. The membership's free. He's like, you pay for when you rent. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. So he sets up my account, and you were able to and I think I may have told you this already. You're able to put other people on your account, like guests that can rent on your card if they know that they're on your account.
Oh.
So I had Kurt Russell added to my account. So every time I'd go rent a movie or something, somebody'd be like, "Are you Joe or Kurt?" I'm like,
you guess.
I'm Joe. Please
tell me.
You don't know. You work in a movie rental place. You don't know who Kurt Russell is. Come on.
That's perfect.
But no, my early rental experiences were like when I lived in New York, and my father would get my sister and I every other weekend.
Mm-hmm.
It would be Dad's weekend. My parents obviously were divorced. They didn't just have some weird thing where he didn't live with us, but we'd go and we'd hit this grocery store called Wegmans. And if anyone's listening from the Northeast, they know what Wegmans is. Wegmans is kind of like, the Kroger of the Northeast.
An apt comparison, yes.
So we would go, they had the video rental place there. And what was great is that Wegmans was like this one-stop shop. The groceries were great, but then they had built-in Chinese food restaurants, which were actually good. Pizza shops that were actually good. So Dad would grab us pizzas, we'd get chips, we'd get snacks. He'd get whatever cereal we wanted for the weekend. And then the final stop was in the video rental spot. And so we'd go in there, and my sister would get to get 2 movies, and then I'd pick out 2 movies. And she always picked out stuff like Crush Groove or like The Decline of Western Civilization, which was like this documentary about metal.
What?
Oh, yeah. The music metal, not like the element.
There you go.
And I would always
weird. Interesting choice.
I'd always be like getting my dad to rent me like Nightmare on Elm Street or Friday the 13th.
Yeah, the R-rated stuff.
Or ninja movies. Like, this is where my love.
Oh, shocking.
If you've listened, dear listener, to any of the Editing Bay episodes, you know I have a soft spot for bad ninja movies, specifically American Ninja.
More like hard spot, Joe.
Yeah, from 6 to midnight. So I would.
That's crass.
Yeah, I'd rent those movies. That's where I got my exposure. And yeah, we'd go back home and we'd watch these films into the and it wasn't just this one time. We rented basically the same movies over and over and over again.
Oh, yeah.
It was a rotation of maybe each of us had like 6 movies that we were always renting. We always wanted to see it. Yeah. Because the new releases were always a little more expensive.
Yeah.
And there was like every once in a while we could get one new release or we could get 2 like just regular movies.
That's
or whatever.
right. The cost was different.
And my father would always try to direct us. Yeah, he'd always try to direct us to like, well, let's see what's going on over here.
Yeah. Look at this one's $1.
And yeah, like that's where I found like Masters of the Universe. And, you know.
Wait, you didn't see that in theaters?
No.
What?
I sure didn't.
Wow.
I think I talked about this on our live episode too.
Surprising.
I never got to see this in the theater. And I was a huge He-Man fan. My dad was just like, no, it looks too violent. I'm like, it's not any more violent. Like as an adult, I'm like, it's not any more violent than the cartoon was.
Cartoonish violence, yeah.
So yeah, that was my first experience, was just going to the grocery store and renting movies there. In fact, that was where like it was unheard of to me. Like I always heard like, you know, what if we wanted to buy this movie? And they'd be like, yeah, that'd be like $400.
$100.
Like,
exactly. What? You would see the price tag on them like $99.99. Like, what, are you kidding me?
Yeah, like why is this so much?
Yeah. For Quigley Down Under?
For Quigley Down. Hey man, Alan Rickman was a treasure in that movie. So it was when they announced Batman coming out on video, where you could pre-order your copy for like $25. And I was like, Dad, I want it. He's like, okay. And my father loved that movie. We probably saw that movie like 3 times in the theater. It was the same summer, I think, that Ninja Turtles came out. And we saw both of those movies a number of times in the theater.
Great summer.
And he's like, yes, let's do this. Let's pre-order it. So like, I remember when the day came and it was time to go get it, we drove to the video rental place and they're like, hey, yeah, can we help you? I'm like, I'm here to pick up my pre-order of Batman. They're like, oh, you're going to watch it tonight? I'm like, you know it. And so they pull out this, you know, the movie in the slipcase and they look at me and they go, I think you deserve something special for this special. I was like, what? So they like took out scissors and they cut the slipcase up and they pulled out one of the clamshells and threw the slipcase in the clamshell and put the movie in it and handed it to me. And they're like, there you go. That's going to protect your movie. And it was like, dude, it seemed like super special to me. I was like, wow, like I've got this protective hard case now for my movie. And like, whenever my friends would come, like they'd come over and I'd be like, you want to watch Batman? They'd always be like, why do you have it in that big case? I'm like, because it's awesome. What happened?
I've never seen that. What a weird thing to do. Was that their policy to do that?
No,
You just
never.
looked like you're
I just looked like a cool kid that wanted Batman or whatever. And yeah, they're like, here you go. And I was so excited. And like to this day, I would watch it. Like I'd throw that, well, not to this day, probably up until about 10 years ago. I'd throw that video in and there's so much nostalgia. Like it opens up with a Bugs Bunny and Daffy Duck advertisement for like the Warner Brothers shop.
Yes.
And they're like, hey, you know, call this phone number to get your free Warner Brothers ball cap. And then they'll send you a catalog and you can order other Warner Brothers merch. And then it had like the Diet Coke commercial with Batman driving on the road and Alfred's on the phone. He's calling the store.
I remember that
like,
one.
We seem to be down to our last Diet Coke.
Yes.
The master is on his way.
Oh, poor Michael Go.
Yes. Yeah. but yeah, dude, like that was like, that's to me.
That's funny.
That is like, that was the genesis of the movie rental experience.
Yep. Oh my gosh. Yeah. It sounds like you and I were kind of living the same existence there. Hey, before I recant my VHS tales, speaking of Batman, did you see that new trailer for the Flash movie coming out today?
I haven't. No, I haven't yet.
Yeah, new trailer. Check it out. I'd be curious to hear your thoughts on it. Really leaning into the Michael Keaton. I thought he was mostly going to have a cameo, but the way the trailer makes it look, he's pretty much one of the main players. Like it's him in the Flash and Supergirl doing this.
I feel like that's good. I feel like that means they know where their bread is buttered.
That is true, but
people want to see Michael Keaton back in the suit.
This whole time, man, he's willing to do it. I mean, he's bringing everything back. Just they also officially today announced Beetlejuice 2 is in production. Like it's happening now. Mm-hmm. Michael Keaton's having a renaissance.
Where do you go with Beetlejuice?
I don't know. I guess. Do you get
with
Winona
like 30
Ryder back?
years between movies? Of course you do. And Gina Davis and
what? Do you
know Alec Baldwin, but it's like, but they're like dead. So then you got to explain why they aged in the afterlife.
They can just they're just de-aging everybody. I also heard about that Indiana Jones movie coming out, and apparently, like the first 25 minutes is just a de-aged Harrison Ford running around, which.
Dude, the de-aging effect in that trailer looks really good.
Yeah, I can't believe. Well, I think on an upcoming episode of Low Res High Def, we'll have to have I want to talk about AI because AI there's so much crazy shit going on. Maybe we'll have some guests come and join us. Yeah. Artificial intelligence, but specifically generative AI. No, man, it's crazy the stuff that's going on out there.
It makes me wish that they could go back and I'm usually one of those guys that's like, just leave the movie alone, keep it the way it was released. But like, I look back at movies like Tron Legacy, and I'm like, well, we could probably go clean up that young
can we
Jeff
tweak it?
Bridges effect, right? Like, can we go fix that? Because that honestly,
the special edition of that.
I love that movie, and that's the only thing that, like, when I'm watching it, I'm like, ugh.
It's embarrassing.
Yeah. So we could fix that gummy face, or go back and fix Carrie Fisher from Rogue One.
Oh yeah. That's right.
Because Peter Cushing looked pretty good. That effect on Peter Cushing.
Well, he already looked like...
It looked really good. And then you got to Carrie Fisher and was like, huh. Yeah.
That dude already looked, skeletal and sharp edges.
He looked like a Shrek character to begin with.
Computer generated. Yes, exactly. Cartoon villain.
So no, like, what were your movies? What did you rent when you were a kid?
Well, I have that same question for you because we did kind of have the same. We'd have our go-tos, the same like 10 or so movies would always be in rotation, and usually out of necessity because this isn't. You didn't have the unlimited selection. You pretty much had what people had not rented already, which was usually going to be like the new releases are gone. Good luck with that. Anything popular within the last couple of years.
The Friday Night Fight, man.
Oh yeah. Oh, we're going to talk about that here in a second. But yeah. So we had our go-tos. We had Ghostbusters was a big one, and of course the Star Wars trilogy. Goonies, all those 80s classics. And much like you, my first VHS rental experience was in a grocery store, except it was H-E-B. That's the big chain here in Texas, spreading into other states, I hear. And you get your groceries, and right there next to the checkout aisle was the video rental section. But not only did we rent the VHS tapes there, we would actually rent the VCR. Like we didn't own a VCR for a while. Did you ever rent a VCR, Joe?
No. Like I said, we would rent at one point my teens, my late teens. We rented like video game systems, but we never rented a VCR. We always had one.
Interesting. Yeah. Well, we had it was like the Army Green top loading VCR. Yeah. Oh, I know. It's mechanically sound. That thing was. The thing just looked like a landmine, from Vietnam or something that you would bring home. I don't know how much they paid for it because I didn't know what money was back then. It was just, here's this huge green box. We're going to plug these cables into the back of our TV. And I remember the first thing I remember seeing on VHS from the rental, it was Michael Jackson's Thriller. It was the video, the whole 10-minute video, and then like a 30-minute featurette.
Joe Pesci.
What? No,
not the Moonwalker video.
No, not
the movie.
Thriller.
Did you never see Moonwalker the movie?
I did see Moonwalker.
Thriller. I thought you said Moonwalker.
No, I mean that was a good one too. I forgot Joe Pesci was in that. But no, this was like the Thriller, their music video, because my family was a big Michael Jackson fan. And then they had that 30-minute featurette of like the making of afterwards, and I remember being scared by that. But that was the first VHS.
Dude, that explains so much about how you're like a visual artist, such a visual storyteller.
Yeah,
because that's all those Michael Jackson videos were. Oh yeah,
that's true.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
That's a good point.
We would record. So we had a VCR.
Yes.
We recorded Star Wars like when it was on TV, and I'm pretty sure that's how I saw Star Wars the first time. Was recorded off of like a TV presentation. But yeah, we had all the Star Wars movies where we had recorded them until they had put out that like Star Wars Saga VHS set.
Oh yeah.
That like you could pony up the extra like $20, I think, to get From Star Wars to Jedi.
Oh,
the documentary.
And I did.
And so my father got me that for a Christmas once. And like, so I wore those out. In fact, I think I still have the set. But yeah, like I that's how I watched Star Wars. It was Star Wars, not Episode 4. It was
Right.
It was that release.
Mm-hmm.
So, in fact, I think that's how I had recorded the video that ended up giving you. That has like the original cut, the way it was intended to be. And when we have our future guest on that we'll reveal later, like that is one of my hot buttons, and he knows it. That like whenever he talks about Episode 4, he'll say something like, "Sorry, Joe, Star Wars." Like, yes, that's what it's called. But yeah, like that, I recorded so much. We had a collection of like stuff that my father would record off of HBO, like stand-up specials, movies that were on HBO, movies that were on regular TV. It was very rare if we like bought some kind of movie. And come on, Star Wars is definitely going to be one of them. Oh, yeah. Indiana Jones, I didn't own until I was a teenager. Like my parents ended up recording that off of TV, the first two, and then I think when Last Crusade came out, we ended up renting that and then recording a copy off of that.
Hook up 2 VCRs.
We dabbled in some video piracy for a little while.
Oh yeah, man. Yeah. Oh well, you knew the little trick about if the tab was broken off of the VHS cassette, you couldn't record.
My wife didn't know what the trick was.
She didn't know that?
She didn't know. I told her recently.
Put some tape, right?
Yeah, cover up that slot. Oh yeah. My fellow
Judge, did you ever broken into your VHS player?
No.
Like the VCR?
You know what? I'm lying. I have once because I had to get a tape unwound. Yeah, it got tangled up.
That's what starts. That's the joys of it's, man. I think about that technology, the analog technology, and it really is kind of a miracle that any of that was ever possible. Like that, here's this little strip of tape that's running on a spool, and we're using magnets basically to record an image and sound onto them, and in the form of like closed captions, like data as well is being recorded onto them. Yeah. And the last 40 years, I've got this home project thanks to you and that TV/VHS combo that you gave me. Mm-hmm. I've had a long-term project. I'm about halfway through. I'm not sure if you can see down here. I got a stack of. No, of course, the mic's blocked. I've got a stack of VHS tapes.
Sure, I see it. Yeah, okay.
Just say yes for the story.
Yes.
Nobody will ever know. I've got a stack of VHS tapes about waist high that I'm slowly going through and archiving, because a lot of this stuff is, stuff that was recorded, family with our camcorder. A lot of the stuff is like some of these movies and specials that were recorded on TV that we'll never have. A lot of it is porn, I'm discovering. I also had recorded onto VHS, but
you're in a safe place right now to talk about that. Bro, I recorded the unscrambled porn sometimes that was on TV. Like I would just hoping that if I went back and went slow-mo,
you pause
maybe I could freeze frame on a boob.
Yep.
Yes.
It worked.
I would stay up late at night. Oh man. So there was a point where I didn't want I don't know why I thought about this, but like I had like a little TV upstairs. This was after I moved to Texas. Mm-hmm. I had a little TV upstairs that didn't have a VCR attached to it. We just had our video game system on it.
Yep.
But I would grab our camcorder and I would point it at the TV and then record the TV. And there's like one where I was watching Frankenhooker. Like I recorded Frankenhooker, and as like all these boobs are coming out, you definitely hear me. I will never release this, but the fact that I'm telling you about it is amazing. But
cut this part out.
No, you can keep it on. It's okay. But the fact that like so you see like all the boobs and stuff, and then you just hear a young voice go, "Oh," like I wasn't doing anything. It was just the first time I was seeing a boob, and I was just like,
yeah.
Oh, whoa. And then like you hear like just before the video cuts out, you hear my older sister go, "What are you watching?" And I just click. And I switched the input back to the Super Nintendo, and we were good to go.
That is the great thing about like VHS tapes. You go back and watch, and it's such like a it could be porn 1 minute. It could be Olympics highlights the next, going back to the Olympics.
It could be beloved family memory.
Yes, exactly. All butted up within a 5-minute segment.
I am not bullshitting. I definitely have like my little sister Amanda. I think it's like her christening video. And at some point while the priest is doing his thing, it cuts over to like Emmanuel 4 for like about 5 minutes. And then it comes back just in time to see the priest put the water on her.
Wow. Juxtaposition. The money shot.
No. Please stop.
Oh my God. That's horrible.
Is there one of those times I'm so glad my mom can't be here
Oh
to hear
no!
what I did?
Oh no!
Because I would feel so ashamed.
That's funny. Oh god!
Oh my god! So
VHS tapes.
we rented plenty of movies, but you rented you had to have rented video games too, right?
Oh, I did too, and that was just as fun as picking up the latest movie was picking up the latest video game system, like you said, as well as the games. Yeah, I would rent before I owned a Nintendo. I would rent the Nintendo from that same HEB where I was getting renting Star Wars and the green top loading VCR. Yeah, man. What about you?
I'm gonna find that VCR for you.
I would love that.
So rental opened up a whole new world for my parents because, Nintendo games were expensive. Like we're talking 50, $60 back when they were first released. Then there was a decline. Guys, you may not know this, but there was a decline. And then all these video games you could get for like $5, $2. And now because nostalgia and collectors, like all those games are now back up to like doubled, like $120, $200.
I know, right?
And it's like, I would love to go back. And I guess this is what feeds it. I'd love to go back and collect the games that I loved the most as a kid. And not just like the standards, not like Super Mario Brothers, but like Silver Surfer. Like that was huge for me as a kid. That was one of those few games that like everybody else thought was shit, but I was so good at it and I loved it. Rygar, absolutely one of them. Die Hard. I have Die Hard, by the way.
That game was shit.
But I loved it. It was Die Hard, so I loved it, which was another movie I rented every fucking holiday. But
every Christmas,
it opened up a whole new world for my folks because like the rule used to be once you finish a game, we'll buy you another one. And for kids, especially me, I'm an idiot. Like it wasn't until I was probably 10, 15, or 15 years old I was actually finishing games. But like the whole rule was like you finish the game, we'll get you a new one. And I never finished one, and I think they knew that. But like my father would rent me video games all the time, and I always had the worst taste in rentals because you had that option. You were like, it
was the box
let
art.
Me try Platoon or let me check out this Gilligan's Island game on the NES. RoboCop. Well, and the thing was
RoboCop. Here's an R-rated film that I'm sure makes a great game for
children. Which my father took me to when it came out in the theater. My father definitely took me to RoboCop.
Well, there you go.
But yeah, like
maybe it worked.
All these games that like were crummy, so bad. There were some games that were so bad that I rented that I would just hook up my old Atari 2600 and play those games instead.
You'd rather play
a
square Pac-Man.
Yeah, I just could
than
not.
Jaws on the NES. Much like you, Blockbuster came late to our city. I didn't get one until, I think it was right after high school as well, for some reason. But we did have plenty of video rental places around, and my rental store of choice was called Video Giant. And it lived up to the name because, big store, a lot of shelves, even had the little room in the back that we weren't allowed to go into.
I was about to ask about the room in the back. I've never seen a room in the back.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Nor have I, but I have seen the dangling beads that separate you from, Emmanuel 4, amongst other fine films.
Nice. Did you ever like
Cinderella?
How did you feel about the rewind? Like, did you ever have to pay a fee for not rewinding your movies?
I was usually pretty good about that. I followed the rules back in the day, and I appreciated that. And we could not afford late fees, so you're going to make sure that thing's rewound. You're going to make sure it's back by 3 p.m. or whatever the cutoff was.
Oh yeah, you strike me as someone who would have stuck by the rules of that. And like, yes. Well, no, just that you would return something better than how you got it.
Thanks. I appreciate that.
So we had to pay late fees a couple times. My stepfather was really bad about returning movies, or if he hadn't watched them yet, he would just be like, F it, we're going to keep it for another week and we'll watch it. It's like, okay. Or like, did you record it yet? We'll record it so that way we can bring it back. I'm like, all right, cool. So one day, because my school was right next to the Blockbuster, he wanted me to just return it at the end of school. When school was done, just walk across the street real quick, return. I had the Punisher NES game, and I had a couple of movies, and I can't remember what the movies were, but they were new releases. It was like, man, I don't know, like the Pelican Brief or like something along those lines. Just something that was kind of big at the time, but something I don't think of anymore. But when I was at lunch, and this was, I may have mentioned this before, I was intimidated by using lockers. I didn't want to use a locker, so I just kept everything in my bags because I was always scared that I wouldn't be able to use the locker correctly. I didn't want to get laughed at.
I hate those combos.
So somehow I thought that carrying 2 heavy-ass bags was a much better option that would get me less flack. So yeah, when I'd go to lunch, you could put your backpacks up in a hallway, and that's what I did. And so then when lunch was done, I go to this hallway to go get my bags, and they're gone.
No.
Someone had taken my shit. Like back then, I had all these people I suspected. Now, as a 45-year-old man, I know
Got a
exactly
list.
who did it.
Oh, really?
It was my buddy. It was my friend who knew they were my bags.
Ha. It's always the ones you least suspect.
Yeah,
He
wanted what was in there. He wanted the game, and he wanted the whatever.
He had the motive.
He was the one.
The,
So they went missing, and then I go home and I let my folks know, and I'm like, "Oh my God, I've lost these things." And my mother was very compassionate about it. My stepfather was a jerk, but it was like 3 hours later, this friend comes over to my house. He's like, "Hey man, I found your stuff," and it was like down in a creek bed, and it was like all the stuff except for the movies in the game. Like all of my stuff was there, my books, but my books were damaged.
Bullshit.
Because they were in the water. So all these textbooks we had to rebuy, and school textbooks are not cheap.
No.
So everything's said and done, and we went to Blockbuster and explained to them the situation, and they were like, "Well, that game is a new game, so that's going to be about $100. You had 2 new release movies, that's going to be $100 each." Like they were quoting us like $300 to $400, and then my mom went in, and she's like, "You're kidding, right? Like you're not going to charge us the amount of money we already spend with you to rent movies, and then in the late fees and stuff like that. You are not going to drag us over the coals for this." And she ended up talking them out of it, and they were like, "Yeah, that's fine. Just like $20 each, and we'll just call it a day."
Everybody hated those late fees, man. And ultimately, I kind of think that's what did them in. The late fee was synonymous with Blockbuster, unfortunately. That kind of became what they were known for, especially when Netflix showed up and was like, "Hey, we'll just mail you DVDs. You don't have to go anywhere.
And just return them whenever you want."
Yeah, just drop them in the mail. Never have to leave your house.
They even sent you the self-addressed stamped envelope, so there was no reason to not be able to send it back.
Yeah, and I don't remember them ever having late fees. They were just keep it as long as you want. They want you to keep it as long as you want because you're paying a monthly subscription. So if you keep the same DVD for 2 months, you've now paid $10 for that DVD.
Exactly.
You bought it, basically.
Yeah.
Anyway, but yeah, Blockbuster was very much sticklers for that. I did have several friends as well who were like, "Hey, can we use your Blockbuster card? Can you rent me this movie? Because I've got a $99 late fee on Eddie Murphy's Raw.
Hell no.
Live in concert.
Hell no. If you racked up that late fee on your account, what are you going to do with mine?
Yeah, exactly. What do you do for me? What's in it for me?
So when I moved into my first apartment, there was we had this workout facility, and in just inside the door of the workout facility was kind of like an early version of Redbox. I wouldn't be surprised if it wasn't the same company before they called it Redbox. But it was just this little red machine. You put your account info in it, which now I would be like, nope, not doing that. But I definitely did. And you could rent a couple of movies. And I felt like, oh, okay, cool. This is so convenient. All I have to do is I could walk in my pajamas back over here to the workout room and just return it when I'm done. I watched so many movies. That was kind of my height of renting things, was living in that apartment, living alone, bachelor's life.
Yep, that'll do it.
And it was also the same time where I was doing horrible damage to my body.
Also
depressed,
hand in hand,
eating full pizzas in one sitting. While playing online games with people all night long. It was a dark time for the rebellion.
The Blockbuster customer. Yeah.
But yeah, that was my height of just taking in. I watched movies I never thought I'd watch in my life. I watched Flags of Our Fathers and Letters from Iwo Jima back to back because they had it in the machine. I was like, let's do this thing. Yeah. So renting it became part of the DNA, but it took me a while to get there.
There is something to be said about kind of having that limited quantity. We talked earlier about not being able to have your pick of the litter generally, especially depending on the time you go, and not having every movie that you could ever want to every movie that's ever been produced, I could probably be watching in 5 minutes on any number of devices in my house right now. So the idea of going somewhere and you're not sure what you're going to come back with. I'm going for this movie, but they may not have it. I may have to go to plan B, C, or D.
Yeah. You never wanted to come home empty-handed.
No, and that's why getting, we talked about, you said Sarah's got some stories. Jenna, her story is having to get off of work early on a Friday afternoon to get to the Blockbuster, not to return a movie, although sometimes, but to make sure you're there before all the new releases are gone.
Yeah. They put the new releases out like at like 5 p.m.
Yep.
on Friday.
And if you're not there by 5:05,
Oh, yeah.
you're getting the scraps. You're getting
but
you're getting Biodome.
But that's a good way to discover stuff. That's a good way to discover
That's how I
things.
discovered Biodome.
It's how I discovered Evil Dead and Evil Dead 2.
Wow.
Was just like walking the aisles and going, huh, this movie looks weird and creepy. I like horror movies. And then going like, oh, this is great.
What's the first movie you remember renting from Blockbuster, if you can?
The first movie was probably The Goonies.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was probably The Goonies because it was one of those few movies that my sister and I could both agree on. Like, okay, yeah, let's watch The Goonies tonight. And then like there were times where as my sister got older, she did a lot of sleepovers with her friends, and so it would just be me and Dad. And me and Dad would rent like Police Academy.
Yes.
The first few Police Academy movies. And that's kind of how I discovered that. Caddyshack.
Naked Gun.
I discovered through rental. The Naked Gun we saw. Yeah, we rented it. And I'll never forget like how much that baseball part where he's the umpire, the I Love LA montage. My father cackles and laughs like nothing I've ever heard to that scene.
My dad had got particularly tickled when there's a really crass beaver joke where he's like
Nice
looking
beaver.
up her skirt, says nice beaver, and she actually hands him a
And then
stuffed
she
beaver.
hands down the stuffed beaver. Yeah.
We,
Thanks, I just had it stuffed.
my dad laughed so hard we had to pause, rewind. Naked Gun.
That's so great.
Rest in peace.
My I think for my mother it was the Three Amigos.
Yes.
My mother would constantly like when we'd go rent movies, she'd be like, "Hey, grab the Three Amigos. I think I want to watch that this weekend." Yeah,
That's so fun.
she loved that flick. So yeah, there were those standards, but then like I started doing my thing and kind of coming back around to. I know I mentioned this earlier. My best friend was this guy named Sean Murphy in my grade. And we did like sleepovers all the time. And when we hit like 12, 13 years old, we did sleepovers at each other's houses and we were constantly renting. Like, it's like both of our parents didn't care. They were not present. So we were like we were watching all kinds of like horror movies. We were watching Friday the 13th, Halloween, Nightmare on Elm Street, like we were watching ninja movies, karate movies. Like that was our bread and butter, was we watched the shit out of those movies. And that's kind of where that appreciation, I said this before, that's where that appreciation came from. And it wouldn't have happened if we didn't have that, what would you call it? That dispensability of the rental where it's like, you're not as invested. It's like, okay, it's $2. Let's take a chance. Let's just check it out.
Or the 99-cent bin. I remember the little 99-cent section where it was like, here's something, you may have never heard of. But it was always like on the end cap right as you were getting to the counter to check out. So it's like, one of those little impulse rentals. Yeah, that was the magic of kind of going in, not knowing what you're going to come out with. And browsing and, like you said, discovering new things and seeing something. Oh, what's new this week? They got the little news section. I don't know if your rental store had this, but you'd have like the employee section, what their favorites are,
employee recommendations.
Yeah,
they had the blackboard that showed what was coming out this Friday.
Oh,
so you could kind of pregame for like, all right,
mm-hmm.
Here we go. Wayne's World's coming out this week. We're gonna totally run that.
Swing.
Another one that I didn't see in the theater.
Yeah,
we rented it and watched it, and it's one of those movies that like it got rewound and watched over and over again. It was like that and Ace Ventura. I remember being like, comedies we'd never seen, like we'd never experienced that kind of funny, and just like, wow. Now again, it's so funny, like going back and with the hindsight and thinking like, I've definitely seen movies that were way funnier than this long before I saw Wayne's World, long before I saw Ace Ventura. I go back to The Jerk constantly, The Jerk or Caddyshack, Fletch, and I'm like, man, these are so funny. Spies Like Us, Animal House, and it's just, it's true. Like your tastes change, and those were the movies that my father was renting. And I didn't care about it. I wanted to see ninja swords.
Oh, yeah. Oh, also kind of the way they had it broken down by genre as well. Like my life is probably like yours. Nowadays, it's all like I have like 5 different subscriptions, right? I've got Netflix. I've got my personal Plex collection where I've got a hard drive with all these movies that I've ripped from legally owned DVDs, Joe. Okay.
Yes, you already owned a copy.
Finger wagging. Hulu. I'm about to subscribe to Paramount because you've got me all about Picard.
Oh, dude.
And so I'm being shown what each individual studio wants to show me. I'm not looking at the action section. I'm not looking at the comedy section where I get to see all the offerings from all of the different studios collected. I miss that.
Yeah, remember when cutting the cord meant you were going to be paying less?
Oh, I
And
know.
now we're paying like twice as much as we were paying with cable. And I still have cable.
Oh, too. I finally let Sling go. I'd been paying $40 a month for that, and I realized the reasons I was keeping Sling. Yeah, some people call it a Sling Blade.
Some people call it Sling Blade.
But you got the axe because I was paying $40 a month.
Yeah, man.
And I realized I wasn't really using it for anything. I'd go browse, and I'd end up watching something I actually wanted to watch instead of what this service was telling me to watch.
Bro, when you become a parent, you keep services just because of what they offer the kids. Like Netflix
Oh, yeah.
is basically
Can never get rid of.
Basically, I use it for the kids more than anything. Every once in a while, we'll get that new season of Stranger Things, or there'll be some cool documentary series that comes out on it. But
It's Baby
more
Shark.
often than not, it's Baby Bum, it's Go Dog Go. And it's like, oh man, why am I paying for this? And then it's like, well, why am I paying for Hulu? I should just drop Hulu. Oh wait, I can't because it's bundled with Disney Plus, and I got to keep Disney Plus because we got my Marvel shows, my Star Wars shows, and then all the shit there that my kids can watch. And then there's what else do we have? We have Amazon Prime, which is kind of cool. I think Sarah gets that as part of her being a student at SMU, so she gets that.
Nice.
Yeah. Look, dude, there are so many streaming services, and then the ones that I won't pay for. I'm not going to pay for Apple Plus, even though they have Ted Lasso. They've got, and this all makes
great
sense.
stuff,
It's
though.
all going to be relevant when I bring this back around. But they've got Ted Lasso. They've got Severance, which is just
I
outstanding.
love that show. We
But,
binge
like,
watched that
you're-
overnight.
Oh, you did? Yeah, dude.
We just
It's
stayed
some
up
of
till
the-
5 a.m.
some of
because
the
we couldn't
best
stop
writing.
watching it.
I can't wait to get Sarah in on that show, and I've tried not to tell her anything about it. It was such a surprise, but now it's like that's what these streaming services have become. They've become the different genres, and it's like instead of having to pay late fees or non-rewind fees, we're just getting stuck with the subscription fees. Like that's until somebody and it's never going to happen. All that's going to happen is they're going to keep reducing this down and more to other services that are specializing in one thing. Like I think there's like a Doctor Who only streaming service.
Yes, that's right. It's so
I
niche.
love Doctor Who, but I'm not dropping $20 a month just so we can watch Doctor Who. And then, ladies and gentlemen, when you complain about people pirating your product,
Yes, this is how we get there.
this is how we get there.
It's come full circle once again.
It has.
Yeah. Do you think we'll ever see like a video store, a video rental store, a location where you go and look at movies and make a choice?
Bro,
I don't.
Up until a year ago, our friend Jay Gunn would go once a week with his folks to this place called Family Video that was right down the street from his house. And they were next door to I think a Marco's Pizza. And together they had worked on a deal. It's like if you buy a pizza, you get half off a rental. And they just recently closed that Family Video. But you could still rent movies. Like if you go to Movie Trading Company and you buy something, and I don't know if that's like a store that's nationwide, but it's definitely here in the region. It's a place where it's like used movies. You can go back, you can go sell them. You can buy, used stuff. But like, they give you the option still. When I bring things up to the counter, they're like, are you buying or renting? And like, I'm always thrown off guard. I'm like, rent? Like you could do that?
And what are they
Because to
renting?
me-
Blue's?
Yeah.
Is that what they're
renting
doing
Blu-rays,
nowadays?
There's still DVDs. They still have a VHS section.
I love it.
Yeah.
But see, that's the thing. Everybody had a VCR back in the day. Everybody could play VHS cassettes. It's like a microwave, right? It would be unfathomable to go to somebody's house and them not have a VCR.
Until you went to that one friend's house that had the beta.
That was
They
me.
had the
Yeah,
beta.
exactly. Yeah, they made the wrong choice. You chose poorly.
I did that with the high def discs.
Oh, you went HD DVD?
I went HD DVD first. I was like, oh, well, porn went with HD DVD.
Exactly. I still want to know what happened. That'll be its own episode. I want to look into what happened when Blu-ray forced them out.
I think it's because Blu-ray had the Sony backup.
Yeah, probably. That probably had a lot to do with it. But they had Panasonic. Well, all right.
Yeah.
Well, that's another episode. This has nothing to do with Blockbuster or VHS.
Yeah.
But yeah, I asked whether you think we could ever have like a brick and mortar movie rental store again. much in the same
Yes.
way. And yeah, I think part of the fact that like not everybody I know owns a Blu-ray player. I think most people are fine with streaming. Like if you had to lose your Blu-ray player, people can get content other ways.
Well, I think that we live in a very interesting time where people are very focused on local, shop local, support local,
Yeah.
brick and mortar. Like people love going and having that.
It's true.
Like the events that we've done recently with my radio station, we've got a partnership with Josie Records, and we've gone a couple of times. Once to their new location in Plano, and then to their original location in Dallas. And that feeling of like going through the aisles and flipping through stuff.
Yes.
And kind
tactile.
of figuring out what you want. Exactly, the tactile feel. Video rental, it plays so much into that.
It's
and
perfect.
if they can refine that and be like, all right, we're doing away with the late fees. We're like, if you have a movie for more than like whatever, like I'm totally good with you having access to like my account to like just do drafting, to
Sure.
draft something out.
Yeah.
And if I have something for too long,
Take it.
and it hits that limit,
It's
take it out.
$2.
Yeah.
I deserve it.
Go ahead and take it out. But I think that it could happen as long as the business model is sound, and I think it is. I think you just take what Netflix pioneered and what these streaming services have been putting together, and I think that the only thing that could stand in your way are studios trying to block you from being able to rent out their product.
Yeah, that is hard. And the way everything's kind of been siloed into all of their different streaming services with so many exclusives, how do we ever get back to that?
Yeah.
I mean, I still feel like everyone's releasing most of their content on Blu-rays, right? I mean, even everything that shows up on Disney Plus is you can buy. They want
There's
you
still
to.
physical copies. Yeah.
Exactly. But yeah, it would take everybody owning a Blu-ray player or having some way to have a physical copy to rent.
Yeah.
But yeah, I miss picking up the case and flipping it over. And you get to see a couple of scenes, get to read the description,
Read
kinda
the
get a feel
reviews.
for the movie. Yeah, see what that Siskel and Ebert blurb is.
I loved when like the summaries were so bad and like they were just like promotional pieces, like clearly promotional pieces,
Yeah.
and not summaries of the movie at all.
No. They would
there's-
just choose like one word every now and then, like explosive.
yes.
Yeah, but the scripts or
There's a website called Red Letter Media. I love these guys.
yes,
They go
Yes.
through and they'll review like old movies. They have a thing called like Wheel of the Worst, and they'll put a bunch of bad VHSs on this wheel, and like 3 of them will spin it. And then in the course of the night, this is something I've always wanted to do with you guys. Like in the course of the night,
sounds
they watch these 3 movies. They kind of film and they'll like show just highlights of moments while they were watching these movies.
Yes.
And then they come together at the end and review each one and kind of determine like, hey, they're all bad, but which one is the best of the bad? Like, and that's the one we'll keep, and the other 2 get destroyed.
F, Marry, Kill.
But it's really cool. And again, they're going through like all those movies that I was renting back in the day. They're like mostly all
The
VHS
trauma
copies.
movies.
Yeah, the trauma, not just the trauma movies, but like Samurai Cop. Like
Yes,
they're
listen
going
to our
through that.
Samurai Cop episode from the editing bay.
I think they're the ones that uncovered Samurai Cop and are almost 100% responsible for
See-
it getting the publicity to do a sequel.
And how would you discover a Samurai Cop were it not for a
Just from
video
these-
rental store?
Just from this website or a rental store, exactly.
Yeah.
There was a Rutger Hauer movie called Split Second that I'd never heard of, and he plays like this cop in like future England, and he's like specializes in hunting down aliens. And the movie's fantastic. It's a great like cheesy sci-fi action flick, but I would have never discovered it. That Blind Fury would have never
Yes.
discovered it without video rental.
I ended up loving that one. That was really a surprise hit. Listen to our Blind Fury. It's hard to say. Blind
5
Fury
times
episode
fast.
from the editing bay.
Yeah.
Our other defunct podcast.
Do you have anything else you want to touch on with this, or do you think we've covered it all?
Well, I ask about whether you think the VHS rental brick and mortar could come back because apparently a couple weeks ago, did you hear about this? Blockbuster.com, a cryptic message, which I think had been up there for a few months and somebody just recently discovered it and it went viral.
Just check.
But they have something, if you go to the website, it says something like, please be kind while we rewind or something. Very cryptic, but alluding to a potential Blockbuster relaunch of some sort. I don't know what that would be. Here we go. Blockbuster.com.
Yeah,
We are working on rewinding your movie is what it says.
there you go. Do you think it'll be a brick and mortar, or do you think they're going to offer their own subscription
I mean,
like Scythe.
I think what we want is a brick and mortar. I think
Yeah.
what they're going to give us is this is just somebody kind of capitalizing on the brand and realizing, oh, there's a TV show. There's this documentary on Netflix about the last Blockbuster. Did you watch that one too?
I haven't yet. No, that's definitely
that's a
on the
great one too. That's a great
it's on
nostalgia
Netflix, right?
trip. Ironically on Netflix, yes. Oh,
Doesn't that feel a little bit like they're rubbing their nose?
Karma, yeah. Like, hey, remember these guys who we totally kicked their asses and took away their livelihoods? Here's a tie. Now we're making money on them off their name.
A mail away service that'll never work.
Ooh, what if Netflix is behind this whole Blockbuster website?
Oh, I'm sure they are.
Yeah?
I'm sure they are. They had the TV show.
That's what I'm saying. Maybe
had
they
this
own the rights.
documentary. They probably own the rights too.
Yeah, they're the secret, they're the shadow company behind
What a
Blockbuster.
dick move. That's a horrible move.
Well,
Because they're gonna throw it in the next season of Stranger Things. We're gonna see a Blockbuster.
well, we did in the last one, and remember,
we?
yeah, that's where they went. Oh, and they had all the posters and the cutouts of Schwarzenegger.
It was Family Video.
Oh, it wasn't the actual Block. Oh, okay,
Yeah, it
that's
wasn't
right. It was
Blockbuster.
their version. Well, they always have like their version of.
Yeah.
You know, they don't want.
But now that like Netflix owns, if Netflix owns the brand of Blockbuster,
yeah, maybe.
whew, come on.
Let's see it. Bring it back.
Yeah.
I miss it. I still have a I'll always have a VHS collection. I think I've pared it down to probably 50 or so. But
Yeah.
the classics, the keepers, and then of course all the recorded porn.
I still have some of mine too, and we've gone through some of the old boxes. And Sarah's like, "Why do you keep this? Like, you don't even have anything to watch it on." And I'm like, I can't get rid of.
Do
the
you
porn.
not anymore? You gave me your last VHS tape.
Well, yeah, because I figured you could use it.
And I am, yeah. I'm
See?
digitizing my history.
I would not be doing what you're doing right now. That is, I did that once. I digitized like a bunch of like home movies of me and my friends like doing a wrestling show in my apartment.
Of course.
Yeah, it should never see the light of day.
Sounds
It's
sexy.
offensive. It's racist.
Oh, really?
It's horrible. Because we were
Cut the
trying to
sweat
be the WWE.
Yeah.
So
Well, there
we
you
were
go.
leaning hard into like, oh, they're racist, so we could be racist
You're
too.
doing it right.
And now we watch it and we're like, oh,
Cringe.
yikes. This should never see the light of day ever again.
You could never run for office, Joe. All this stuff would surface.
Oh man, and I really want to. Yeah. Guys, let us know what you're looking forward to in the next week, or if you have ideas for things that we could talk about on future episodes.
Yeah.
If you're interesting and would like to guest on a future episode, can't promise anything, but drop us a line. You can find us at lowreshighDef.com, and you can follow us to our different social media channels there. And what else do we have, Joel?
We also have a Twitter
We're gonna
handle.
work on that.
You can follow us for now on Twitter, as long as it's around, and we deem it valuable. At LowResHighDef on Twitter. We also have a Facebook page, which we'll link back to, basically Twitter and the website. But you can find us on Facebook and sound off there and keep in touch. And I've been doing these little promos where if you're not sure if you want to listen to a particular episode, I've been cutting down little 2-minute promos where you can get a little sample of each episode. Last week was our live music episode, where you and I had a lively debate about Metallica, whether they were any good anymore. What are you laughing at?
It almost got me in trouble.
Oh no, what happened?
Since I've gotten back into radio, I've become fast friends with Metallica's tour manager,
Oh
with
no.
Q Prime.
No wonder you were so defensive.
And my wife's like, what if he hears this? What if he hears this? But like on release day, they just released a new album called 72 Seasons. And on release day, he sent me like a little care package. And one of the things that was in the box was a signed copy of 72 Seasons on vinyl.
Nice. Holy shit.
Yeah. And I was
Vinyl,
like,
too.
oh, well, that's really nice. Yeah. He also added like 3 copies of it on cassette tape. I was like, is that a thing still?
Wait, what?
What?
Wow, that'll be our
So,
next episode where we talk about cassettes and Walkmans.
Talk about cassettes. Thank you, Guardians of the Galaxy. All right. So what are we going to talk about next week?
Next week, speaking of guest hosts, Joe, we will have a guest on next week. This is hot off the presses. Just figured this out right before we started recording. That friend of the show and podcast host in his own right, Ryan Jenkins from Tara and Ryan's Princess Diaries, their podcast, which we announced the existence, the pilot of this episode of this podcast on their podcast, where we guest hosted on the Wreck-It Ralph sequel. What is it? Ralph
They
Breaks
were
the
the
Internet.
first podcast to swipe right for us.
That's right.
Is it swipe right? Or do they swipe left?
I don't know. I can't remember.
don't know.
It's been a while.
They swiped.
But we did it. We announced this podcast on their podcast, and we're going to return the favor and have on Ryan. Not Tara this time. We'll have her on in a future episode. But we've got a little. You mentioned Cinco de Mayo, Joe, but an even bigger and better holiday in my mind is May the 4th. that precedes it by one day. That's right. Star Wars Day, May the 4th is coming up. And to celebrate, we're going to have Ryan Jenkins on, and we're going to make it a musical episode, I think. We're going to be sharing some tracks. We used to do this on our other podcasts, the 16-Bit Gladiators. We had a couple of episodes where we each brought in, we did our homework and brought in some of our favorite music, some tracks, tunes from some of our favorite video games. So we're going to do that with Star Wars.
We've done this with movies too.
We have done it with movies. That's right. Star Wars are movies, and so they're going to get that same treatment too. Man, if you told me pick what are your 5 favorite themes or tracks from the 9 or even the expanded universe Star Wars movies, I could easily fill that top 5.
The theme song for General Hux.
Would not be on the list.
The last stand of the shiny stormtrooper woman that came back in the third
Can't even remember her name.
Captain Phasma.
Yeah, probably not a lot of tracks from the prequels on there. I'm not sure John Williams' heart was in it. I can understand why. Although there are some great themes from those films.
There are a couple good themes. It just seems like he kind of took some stuff he liked from Harry Potter and just went half speed with it. Okay. Yeah. Let's just take this Dumbledore theme and we'll stretch it out a little bit for Luke.
Reuse some musical cues from Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade in episode 1.
Oh, man.
Nobody will ever know.
I'm excited about this. I'm so excited about this one.
So tune in next week for our big May the 4th extravaganza with Ryan Jenkins, where we'll be listening to some Star Wars music.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much for listening, guys. Joel, thank you very much.
Thank you, Jeff. Pleasure's always mine.
The pleasure's all mine. Jeff, thank you. And we'll catch you guys next week. Talk about some Star Wars music. Bye.
You've been listening to the Next Wave Radio Network.
That's fucking gold.